Peace. Today I want to talk about there is no easy way out. All right? There is no easy way out in anything that we do in life. And the reason why, maybe that way you can see my face. The reason why I wanted to do this video is because oftentimes we make decisions thinking that there's an easier way out, right? I think we tend to forget that life is all about perspective. Oh yeah, and by the way, you're gonna probably hear this throughout the video. This is $3.75 going 9.4 miles. Bitch, please. Life is all about perspective and your perception of your reality, right? So no matter what you do, no matter where you go, life is always going to have an ebb and flow, and it's always going to have contrast. I think this is something that we think that life is supposed to be this easy journey, right? It's supposed to be easy, when in reality, if things were always easy, how are the depths of yourself supposed to be revealed? You know, how much of yourself would you really be able to tap into if you weren't pressured in certain situations and circumstances? Some of us, like myself, choose to volunteer myself into that experience, and some of us just choose to be dragged from the universe, right? So there is no easy way out, because regardless of how you view your life, things around you are constantly going to be happening, and it is a must that they happen in order for there to be evolution, experienced in your life, and you creating a deeper relationship with yourself. And there is no changing circumstances. I don't believe that for myself, all right? I don't believe that we have control over changing circumstances, because how that needs to show up is a requirement. Same one. Nobody wants it. It's a requirement, right? It has to happen in order for you to sit back and observe, the greatest aspects of yourself, and maybe not so much the greatest aspects of yourself. And I don't want to say weaknesses and shit like that. It's just about observing all that you are, and then beginning to maneuver yourself through how you perceive your life, how you respond, how you react, your emotional intelligence. And so the circumstances will continue to be there as long as you're living in this journey and this experience in this earth plane. But how you perceive it is a whole different story. How you perceive yourself in your current situation is super important. I think when you have the knowledge, my poor baby, I hate seeing her like that with that cone. She's trying to clean herself. When you have the knowledge that everything is happening through you and then happening for you, instead of everything happening to you and playing the victim, then you begin to appreciate your journey a lot deeper. And you get to have more of this harmonious response to it. It's really all about our response to our circumstances and our situations and our experiences that will determine the heaviness of it, right? And just to give you an example, let me just give you this quick example. These last 2 times that I've been in Florida during winter time, and it could be the smallest thing, like this experience. These last 2 years was not as cold as it has been. So I thought, coming back here from California, I don't need to get my heater hose fixed. Like, I'm good. Last time, I think there was only like maybe 2 or 3 days where it was like cold, where I had to put my Mr. Buddy heater on. I don't need my heater hose. Now, yes, it has been crazy cold. I've had to layer myself. I mean, I can just see my breath when I'm breathing because that's how cold it is. But I have an office, and in my office, I have a heater. Everything's electrical. So I literally could just take all of my things that are electric, cook my food, take some of my sleeping bags and my blankets and sleep on my massage table, take the cat with me. Like, I could have just decked the shit out, right? But here's the deal. In order for my body to adjust to the unknown, I have to remain in a situation and put myself through it in order for one, to see my elasticity of myself and being able to expand the I can do this attitude. It also brings awareness to the temperatures, how much I can deal with, how much I can't deal with. I didn't know any of this because this is a new experience for me this year, this winter, because this is a cold winter for me without having the heat in the van. So yes, I could have taken the easier, the easier path, so-called, but I would have had to get everything out, set it up, do this. So there's still work that has to be done, right? Or I could just remain still and make the best out of what I have and get to see how much I can put onto myself that I can deal with. Because what if there's a situation in the future that I might be experiencing that's going to cause me to have to be in colder climates? The environment might change. And if I don't get my body and my mind, more than anything, my mental, ready for this, how do I absolutely know that next time I could do it? So this is where the volunteering yourself through these things, and like I said, that could be something like so minor that we take for granted, but for me, this is how I view my experience, even with something like that. So yeah, and I made it basically, because today and tomorrow are going to be like the coldest nights, and then we start getting into like the mid 60s and the 70s, and so that's an example to let you guys know that life is going to always have its environments. It's always going to have its seasons. It's always going to have its ebb and flow, and it's always going to have its contrast. What determines your success through these experiences, through these environments, through the contrast, through the ebb and flow that is infinite, is how you perceive yourself and how you choose to show up in your experience. So, there is a lot of us who like to play, I was one of those that likes to play the victim, right? It's my mom's fault, it's my dad's fault. And, oftentimes you'll hear family members still talking about it, and sometimes you just have to sit back and ask yourself, they only did what they felt was good in that moment according to the consciousness that they had within themselves at that time. You now, as an adult, and choosing to live from a different space of yourself and getting to choose whether you want to be the victor or the victim, get to choose how you show up every day. And again, I'm going to say this because I say this and I think it's super important to get. I just did a video about this. Any memory from this moment back is just that. It's a memory that's stored here. The ones that stick out the most, the memories that stick out the most, are the ones that have more of an emotional energy field attached to it, whether it's trauma, whether it's deceit, manipulation, and according to how deep you chose to marry with that emotion or feeling is going to determine the triggers that come from it throughout your life. This is what I tell my clients when I have like my sessions with them. Anything that is happening to you that you experienced back then is not happening to you now in this moment. The only thing that's firing those neurons within your brain as if it's still happening is you holding on to that memory. And so you'll begin to experience, so the only reason why you keep experiencing that same emotion as if it's still happening is because you keep repeating that story. And I just choose not to want to be there anymore. You know what I'm saying? When you come to a point of yourself where you realize that you have a choice of the energy that you want to remain in, and you have a choice of how you show up every day, and you have a choice on how you desire to fashion your life going forward as the victor, everyone and everything around you that keeps telling their old story and those old narratives, they're able to have that choice, but you too have a choice of how much you are willing to allow that to continue to pull from your energy field. When we're around people, we have all of these little pockets of energy, right? I'm an energy field, you're an energy field, these people in this parking lot are an energy field. When you choose to collab and you choose to be in the presence of someone, we are exchanging energy. The energy that we are exchanging is either going to be pulling away or it's giving. This is why we have to be accountable for what it is that we're giving on to people. When I'm in your presence, and am I uplifting you to be better and to do better and to tell you that you're an infinite being with limitless possibilities? And am I constantly encouraging you that you got this? Or am I sitting there with you in the same conversation of your victim mentality and reaffirming that with you? That's the type of friend I used to be. You know what I'm saying? And then once you start doing better within, you start realizing within, those same people that you used to sit and have a drink and talk about your shit and do all of that with, you start going this way and they start going this way now because you're talking a different story. Most people that are in victim mentality do not give a fuck about what you have to say about doing better and being better. They just do not care because they want that reaffirming, that confirmation that yes, I am the victim of my story. Keep telling me this. And when you're not that friend, and when you don't do that, then that's when there's conflict because you're not matching who it is that they're showing up as and how they want you to show up for them. Talk about a situationship, you know, but you get to choose. This is the beauty about life, y'all. There is nothing that we are in that makes us stuck anywhere. Nothing. It's just this. It's just the mind, how you perceive life, how you feel about yourself, being observant of the old patterns that show up and conquering those with a new pattern, a new storyline. So yeah, there's nothing in this life that is going to make your journey a whole lot easier if you're constantly showing up as the victim, you know? And even that, we're still going to go through things. Things are still going to happen. You still have to get around people. You still have to live your life. You still have to have a vehicle. All these things, death still has to happen. All of these things still have to happen. But how we go about waking up every day intentionally and where we put our energy is what matters most. You know, and then having the trust, like, do you even know all that you are? To not trust that? Do you even really sit back and think to yourself that this body of yours, what it's doing without you even having to say anything, how it's moving in your favor, your heart is beating for you, your breath is there for you to be able to use and to talk and to center yourself and to, you know, nourish yourself, feeding your lungs good quality air. How your hair, you shave it one day and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Your nails, you can fuck them up by getting fake ass nails, and when you take the nails off, they'll end up being shitty, but then guess what? Over time, they get back into their strength again. It gets back into their naturalness and they look beautiful again. You know, but guess why? Guess why they were messed up? Because you choose, and I chose to put something over its natural way of being, which made it weaker as time went on. And I'm telling you, these are the smallest things that I pay attention to for myself that just, I don't know. This is just where my mind takes me, right? So even to like my nails, me putting something fake on top of them made them weak and brittle because I wasn't allowing the natural aspect of them to just grow and do what they do. I was trying to interrupt the process. We're constantly trying to interrupt the natural flow and process of all that we are. And look at all of this greatness. My beautiful skin. You know what I'm saying? It's this beautiful organ that this body replenishes itself. What did they say? How many times a year does our body regenerate itself? And we're over here bitching and complaining about the minor things in life and not trusting that. But here we are trusting our bodies to do as it's supposed to do. And every time we decide as a human to project thinking that we always have the better solution, we always end up fucking shit up. Whether it's our physical body, whether it's our mental health, whether it's the minor things of like getting your nails done, whether it's getting a wig and now you ain't got no freaking what's it called, baby hairs, it's gone because you try to change the natural order of things. If when we can just flow with the natural element of all that is and allow that beauty to just spring forward the way that it's supposed to. Why are we fighting against that? Humans, man. Humans. So yeah, I just, there is no escaping the things that have to happen in this life, but there is a gentler process by how you perceive your reality. And how you perceive your reality will continue to dictate the amount of agony that you experience in your world, or it'll determine the amount of peace that you get to experience and feel throughout your journey. And I think one thing, if I could suggest, $8.64 for 6.6 miles. I'll do it. One thing that I would like to suggest is know that you're worthy. Sit with yourself and look at the people in your life that you are surrounding yourself, family, friends, coworkers, whatever, and listen to the conversations, that you are having with them, and ask yourself, is this benefiting my higher self? Is this feeding my soul? Is this allowing me to reach the version of myself that at this moment I can only visualize? I haven't tasted it yet. I haven't tasted it because I keep engaging in these dumb-ass relationships, situationships, not just love relationships, it's all relationships that are not allowing me, and that you are actually, and that I am actually giving permission to exist in your cipher because of what? Got to stop caring about what people think. I don't care if it's family, friends, I could care less. You have to stop worrying about how people think and how people feel, because at the end of the day, this journey is yours and you were given this journey as an individual. As an individual. Everything else is community, everything else is love, all of that. But you as an individual, you have to put the mask on your face first to give yourself that breath before you try to give it to anybody else, because you don't have it. What can you give yourself? If you don't have it, how are you supposed to give it to anybody else? And then if you decide to give it, don't just give it to those that just want to take. There has to be reciprocity through the process, And don't give even if your cup is half full. Give when your cup is overflowing. All right? Make sure that motherfucking cup is full. And everything else that's spilling over, that is what you give onto others. Because energy is sacred, energy is real, and energy is who we are and what we are, and it is a dynamic space to work with. It's our creative energy, it's our love energy, it's our worthiness energy. So, let me go do this. Salut, y'all. I love you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more of these Van Life Chronicles. Peace. The uncomfortable truth is, in the end, you realize it's just you. No one is coming to save you. No one can understand you as deeply as you come to learn to understand yourself.